So you are aware that a sequence is a list of numbers. And then there are different types of sequences. And the one that we talked mostly about last week was called an arithmetic sequence. And if you remember, an arithmetic sequence is one where you add the same number every time. And we're going to talk about a geometric sequence this week. And here's an example of the geometric sequence. And with any sequence, what's the rule? Well, the rule is we start with 3 and multiply by 2. Oops. So times 2, times 2, times 2. And so instead of having a common difference, right, the D was what we used in the arithmetic sequence. In a geometric sequence, we're going to have a common ratio, and R. So R is what we multiply by. What we multiply by. And you can see that we're multiplying by 2 here. So R is 2. And the other thing that we will need to talk about is some formula for A sub n, which is going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to make up a table. So we have n and we have A sub n. And let's just do, n goes from 1 to 4, and A sub 1 we can see is 3. And then A sub 2 is going to be, well, obviously we multiply by 2. So this is going to, it's 6, but I'm going to write that as 3 times 2. And then to get to the next one, we're going to multiply this thing by 2. So I'm going to write that as 3 times 2 to the second. And then in order to get the next, I'm going to times by 2 again, which is going to give me 3 times 2 to the third. I can write that as 3 times 2 to the first. This is 3 times 2 to the 0. So by the time we get to thinking about what happens if we just have a plain old n here, the cast members we know we're going to have a 3 times 2 to the something. And then we just need to figure out what's the rule for that exponent there. And what I can see is that 3 is 1 less than 4. And 2 is 1 less than 3, and so forth. So if we have n here, this is going to be n minus 1. So A sub n is going to be, our rule is always going to be our first term, A sub 1, times whatever r is to the n minus 1.